Ni hao, everybody, and welcome to this week's Tales from the Big Damn Verse. Now, as you've heard on the recap, and as you heard for our tutorial a little bit ago, we're going to be doing a couple different things, but first, as we always do, is we set the scene. And as the scene is set, we are no longer planetside kicking dirt or brushing sand. We are carving our way through the black. And just like the blue from the sailing ships of old, the black is a great expanse, and even more so when you leave a familiar place. And in this case, the courtesan is leaving the system, the red sun system that it's been working in for many, many months. And as they leave this home with the planet of Elysium and Mild Bill behind, and head towards closer to the center of this verse, they pass out of the solar system. And whenever you pass out of a solar system here in the verse, you exit a satellite ring, artificially created. Many of the sailors and pilots that navigate the black call these singular entities Hadrian's Wall, because on one side exists civilization, and on the other, not so. In fact, if there was a lady or a man that would, back in the days of the blue sailing ships, would write these maps out, they would indicate demarcation lines owned by nation states and lords and kings, and they would painstakingly recreate wave caps and trees and mountains. But when they reached that unknown, when they reached that place that no one had explored or returned from, they would simply draw a dotted line and write, "Here there be dragons." Now, of course, we know that dragons aren't real, and demons aren't real, and reavers aren't real. But if somebody were writing a map today and the courtesan just passed through Hadrian's Wall, that person might stop, take their pen out, and simply write, "Here there be reavers." But that's neither here nor there. Or we'll see if it's here nor there. As we view the black in its great expanse, we drill down and we see the courtesan gently making waves as she, piloted by Felix, drifts through this area of space on her way from one globule of civilization to another. But now she is alone. Well, she has her children. And so as we cut through the group and as we see where everyone is, in the cockpit, we see Felix piloting the craft, as mentioned, but we also see the now de facto captain, Harriet Dawson, as she too is aboard the bridge. And whether there's a silence between them, we do not know, because the last thing that we've seen is that Harriet was given an additional 25% ownership in the ship beneath her feet, making her an equal partner to the married couple of Felix and Bai. Now, whether this has caused tension or perhaps Felix and Harriet have not had a chance to be alone together yet, but here they are on the bridge of the courtesan. And as we pull back from the bridge and scan throughout the rest of the craft, we come to rest in the Medbay, a very advanced Medbay, something perhaps not seen in anything outside of an aerial hospital. And here inside this sterile and pristine area where everything has a place and every person can find world-class treatment, is Dr. Rutherford and his small patient Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a 12-year-old girl that the crew saved from a interesting fate. And though her wounds have healed, they seem to be many, and they seem to have lasted most of her history. And as he's sitting there looking her over and just giving her a checkup, the odd pair lock eyes for a moment, as perhaps they too have realized that they have not been alone since this craft took flight. And as we pull back and we go to yet another area of the ship, we see Bai as he's heading towards one of the shuttle doors, followed by Lo Jiaoli. Lo Jiaoli, the passenger of the ship, is being upgraded, or at least being offered an upgrade, as was mentioned in our last episode. And as Bai grabs the door to open into the shuttle bay, it sticks for a moment, but knowing the courtesan as well as just about anybody, he knows the secret way to jiggle it, pop it, and open it. A method that Lo Xiaoli is able to kind of record in her memory bank so she can repeat it in the future. And as he walks in and ushers her into a pristine shuttle, he goes to flip on the lights with a hand pad, but they do not activate. With that's a bit of embarrassment. It takes just a second to activate the tether that will lock it with the courtesan powering the shuttle, and the lights flicker alive. And so here in this shuttle, which is pristine, Lo Xiaoli is able to look around and see if it would benefit her more to have this private space than perhaps some of the more interesting space that is down closer towards the cargo bay. Speaking of which, one of those interesting spaces is now home to several pigs, one of them Hustler. It's not necessarily a reason or a command, but it appears that Hustler was given a bit of an impromptu ear piercing after several projectiles flew into that bay, and in an effort to save the pigs from future piercings, perhaps of a more fatal variety, they have been replaced in their very own quarters, replete with manufactured air, scrubbers, and the ability to keep the stench to a bare minimum. But as everybody seems to have their place, pigs and children and passengers and crew and the courtesan in the black, we stay for a moment with Bai and with Lo Xiaoli. And as Lo Xiaoli looks around, Bai, you are taken away for a bit, and you are reminded of where you came from before the courtesan. And where is that?
I'm taken away, obviously, to the kitchen because somebody has been messing around with the kitchen, and you know how I like to keep things in order. So I hear somebody banging around,
and even further than that, even before the courtesan itself, when you were dirt side, if you will, what was that life like for Bai?
It was hard, but also in a lot of ways everything Bai wanted, or at least thought he wanted for the time back then. Bai looks over, and perhaps from his point of view, he sees sort of the pristine little Persephone little farmstead that he had a long time ago. Before, even he remembers the rose-colored times, the times before the war, when things were hard. He remembers he sees the sunrise over his small little orchard, the sounds of roosters and chickens doing their things, cawing and clucking, and just he remembers the and probably the most important lesson that he's always remembered is behaving in a way that no matter where you are, a hard day's work is always a nice reward. Making sure you're keeping your tools in order is always, the little things are the things that matter most in life. It's never a struggle of ideals against the Alliance or Browncoats. It's who do you go to bed with? Who do you call your friends? Where do you spend your time? Who do you care about the most? Those are the things that truly matter.
Right. And as this feeling takes you, this like you said, this rose-colored lenses of nostalgia as you look back on your life on the farm, and even as you say, a day of hard work. And was a poet once said on the earth that there was never a greater reward than that gust of breeze God gave the sweating brow, because it feels good and it reminds you of exactly how you earned it. And as you're sitting there kind of in this state of reverie, it's almost like you can feel that breeze from back on Persephone. It's almost as if you're back there. And then you open your eyes and you realize you can feel a breeze. And at that moment, across the ship, From one side to the next, the entire craft rocks. And as it rocks, and as it ebbs, and as it finds its own new meter, as it was gently making waves a moment ago, Felix, it jumps in your hands beneath you, something that Cortesan's never done. She's never done something like this without any type of warning. She has been in dire circumstances before, but never without warning, never without telling you, the person that she knows the best, that she is about to sunder. And as this rock takes you, and Harriet and Felix are in the bridge grabbing whatever it is they can to hold up, the door behind them slams shut. And in the medbay, as Elizabeth begins to fall off the table of which she was ready to jump off anyway, her examination over, Dr. Rutherford turns as the door to the medbay slams shut, and with a hiss and a seal. And on the shuttle, as Bai and Lo Zhao Li feel this rocking beneath them, the door slams shut to the shuttle. But unlike the other people, unlike everyone else aboard the Courtesan, you begin to drift as you lift off into the air, the gravity no longer functioning, and you realize with a glance outside of the opening of the shuttle's windows that the shuttle is free of the Courtesan. And as you are drifting and moving, the shuttle turns and its windows are facing directly into the Courtesan. And for a moment, just the briefest of moments, Felix and Bai's eyes meet as they look at each other through the cold of the black.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black, tell them I ain't coming back. Burn the land, boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. I've found serenity, and you can't take the sky from me.
Ni hao, everybody. And as we are back, we are going to pick up right where we left off. But I will also remind the crew that what we are doing at this moment is a bit, well, we'll say it for what it is. It is life or death. And as we are sitting in this life or death situation, I will let each pocket of crew know the following. Bai and Lo Zhao Li, you are going to act as one unit. Felix, Harriet, you too will act as one unit. And Dr. Rutherford, you have the NPC Elizabeth to help you, her skill set unknown. But as you all are in different sections of the ship, you must ascertain what has happened and how you are going to correct this mistake. Let us start, as we will, with the following. I will allow each group to roll or act one role or one action that we are going to assume happens simultaneously among all three groups. So with that, I will start on the bridge. Felix and Harriet, what would you like to do? Felix, you have just, your eyes have just been torn away from Bai's as the shuttle drifts out of view.
Right. Ship sensors, what are they showing me?
As you turn and look at the readouts around you, your eyes drawn from your husband, who is now kind of being pulled back along the length and the rear of the ship, you realize that all of the readouts across the entire board are fluctuating. And it's not in a fluctuation of a power loss. It almost looks like a ripple, as if the lights are growing and darkening in a wave as it goes back and forth across the LEDs. It looks very, very deliberate.
At this point, I would like to immediately go over to the ship's communications and, all right, everybody, I need you to check in now and just see if I can get like communication to the shuttle, what's happening with everybody, if everybody's safe.
Okay, we'll consider that to be the captain's action from the bridge. So what we will say is, Dr. Rutherford, you may do whatever you like, but just as you are ready to do something, you hear a very weak squawk come through from the Medbay intercom, and you hear Harriet Dawson, but she sounds tinny, as if the voice itself is losing strength. And as you turn, the Medbay, being the only area that houses the plasteel or the industrial grade glass inherent in the ship, you see a frost beginning to creep up along this glass.
Oh, we're hold. Fuck.
As it goes all the way up and begins to turn opaque.
Okay. I need to do that before it cracks. Do I have any as this is happening rapidly, do I have any like industrial grade or like medical grade sealant foam that might harden the glass to stop it from shattering or keep it in place long enough for me to do whatever I need to do inside the medical bay?
Oh,
absolutely. You have what would be the sealant foam that is used for anything from cuts to abrasions to gunshot wounds. It looks like it comes in what we would, in the earth that would say like a big caulking gun, but you feel that you could probably spray that around the at least the trim of the glass to keep, you know, that just from being a somebody that sails in the black and being a man of means and education, that this glass itself won't shatter, but where it meets the metal is always suspect, because that isn't necessarily, it might not shatter, but it might just pop out like a glass lens.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna get the I'm gonna get the sealant foam. I'm gonna make sure I seal it around. I'm gonna get the girl Elizabeth. I'm gonna say to her, just tap on the communicator there and tell the captain that we are all right. Put on some clothes if you can. It might get a bit chilly, but don't worry, we're gonna be fine.
Okay, so what I want you to do here is, for this idea, I want you to roll an attribute and a skill. And I will do the same, and we will see exactly how successful you are with this foam operation. Let me go first here, and I will bust these out. Okay, you only have a 6 to beat, and you get a plot point for this particular moment, because I did roll a 1.
Okay. So I get an attribute. Okay. So my attribute I'm going to use is mental. And the skill I'm going to use is craft technology. So I'm going to get the foam and I'm going to kind of jimmy it so it starts spraying out a lot faster and more frantic than it would normally. So it's not like a slow kind of melodical. It's more like a so I can do this a lot faster than I would normally.
Absolutely. Okay, so just what are the values of those two skills, and you can roll them with the macros that we have in there?
Both of them are 2d10, but I also have specialty technology, so that's a d6 with that.
Okay, so roll me a d10, a d10, and a d6.
I will do that for you. Oops. My mic is in the way.
Okay, so with a 6, you would match what happened there, and it will go towards you as being the one that is matching the action here. So you're able to get it done, and just as you apply the last inch or two of sealant, you actually see the glass move a bit, but you're able to seal it just as it gets that moment. Meanwhile, as you're quickly doing this, Elizabeth runs over, pads over. She's wearing only socks that had probably been given to her by Harriet or Lo Jiao Li, and she just has the dress that she wore from Perdition, where she was from, and she reaches up, the 12-year-old girl unclips the comm mic, depresses it, and she says, "We're all down here. We're in the med bay, me and the doctor." The bridge you may answer if you would like, but not until we go out to the shuttle bay. Now, in the shuttle bay, Lo Zhao Li and Bai, you are floating. And as you float by, you have just looked out through the glass. You have seen Felix, but the shuttle was jerked and pulled back. And it's at this moment that you kind of, as you spin and look back, you're given a different view. And you see the other shuttle floating free out into the black away from the courtesan. But then you remember, as you walked in, you tethered your shuttle to the courtesan to get her power. And you think that's the only thing that's holding you to the mothership. What would you guys like to do?
Oh yeah. So I think Bai looks out the window and sees the tenuous power cord tethering us, and does it look like it's super taut or stretched to the max, or like is it in danger right now, or do you think we have a little bit of time before that's a problem?
Without a roll, I'm going to tell you this: it looks like it's ready to give.
Right. Oh, that looks like it's ready to give.
I certainly hope you are mechanically inclined.
Yeah. So. Well, at least I'm a smart learner, and I'm going to quickly go to the comms panels to start, or the shuttle panels and start flipping the gauges. My intentions here is I want to use the thrusters of the ship to push it a little bit closer, so it's not going to break the cord.
Okay, as you drift up into the cockpit area of the shuttle, as soon as you start firing up the shuttle, it's the second switch when you realize it's not firing up.
Oh, just Darche. The shuttle doesn't have any power.
What all is in the shuttle? Is it just empty? What is there anything in here?
Yeah.
There are several lockers in here, and what I'm going to allow you to do is this. Before I go into any more detail about what a nice, leisurely search of this shuttle might give you, I am going to give you the following choice.
Okay.
You can surely search this shuttle, or you can identify the problem of the tether that is latching you to the courtesan. As this is your first of a timed action, I will need what you guys would like to address first, and how you would like to address it.
Right. I'm pretty good at noticing things leisurely.
Oh.
So maybe I could step up and do something, unless you're good at it too, and then maybe it should be you, right?
No. I feel like you should.
Yeah.
You know this ship much better than I. I have only been here for a couple of days.
Right. Okay, yeah. And so, all right. Leisurely, stay calm. We'll be okay. And I'm going to glance out the window again and take a good hard scrutiny of the window. What is scrutiny of the window. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the word is there.
I want to scrut this window.
Yeah, about the tether, and then and hopefully do that fast enough that I have time to react and fix the problem.
I stand ready. I
float
ready to assist him in any way I can, because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so what I would like then from you, as this will be your action by, is I want you to roll me what you believe attribute and skill-wise would give you the necessary skills to say or discern what's going on here, and I'll tell you how it works. I will roll something completely random, and we'll see how you... So you're going to need to beat an 8.
All right. So I'm going to do a couple things here. I think it's a mental notice roll for me to spot the problem. But this is a tense situation. And I'm good at staying calm in this because I am steady. So I'm going to burn a plot point to add my focus to this roll as well. So now I'm going to roll my D8 for my mental stat. I'm going to roll my notice. And then I'm going to roll my focus, which is also a D6. Okay. Well, I got a 9.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to beat the 8 that was set aside. And what you learn from this is the following. With that tether in place, you believe that while it's about ready to give and give way, if you can somehow reactivate at least one of the mooring grav locks of the shuttle, you might be able to at least coil that length of metallic wire against the ship, giving more surface space to the ship instead of just the plug where it's attached. It could buy you time.
Yeah, we're dangling from the outlet, and I say, okay, so I don't explain the problem to Lauserly. I just curtly explain the answer, right? It's like, we have to engage the maglocks, and then we're gonna probably start looking around the shuttle on how to do that, and then we're gonna probably cut to the other one as we that part, right?
That is absolutely correct. So as we cut back to the bridge, at this point we are within the first set of actions. I would like each of you, Harriet and Felix, to roll a survival check for me.
Okay.
And I will tell you what you'll be rolling against. Wait a minute. Oh! You each get a plot point as I scrub that roll.
Does that mean I can use one of my plot points to give you a complication, or...?
You can't give me complications, but you can help whenever I give you one.
Okay. Just trying to getting the rules down.
6. And that's a, yeah.
Okay. So with this maneuver, as you guys roll, let's see, a 3 and a 1. Okay, 3 and a 6. You guys realized a couple things right away. One, it's getting colder. And 2, you're feeling a bit lightheaded. Nothing bad, but just a little lightheaded, which is a very bad sign
we
on a
have,
spacecraft.
we have O2 problems. Right.
No, I know there ain't no power in the verse that's going to stop you from trying to get to your hubby, but like they used to say back on Earth, that was you put your safety mask on for yourself first and then help the women and children around you. Now let's find us some CO2.
Some CO2?
CO2, H2.
let's find us some CO2 and make sure. Let's fill this place with carbon dioxide and water. That'll help us breathe.
Science is hard.
I presume, like, do we have any? Would we have a at least one suit in the brain? Sorry, I'm literally all that's going through my head is why the fuck is Bi not on my ship? I'm actually stressed about this.
Okay, honey, I need you to focus. And if there is a mask for him, I'm gonna give it to him because I need him to keep this ship going.
Yeah.
And I want to get life support back online if possible.
I will assist. I'm gonna try and my priority first is to find out what is going on, because if we reset something and whatever this is just fucks it again, we're wasting time. Whereas if we find out what is going wrong and then we fix it. So, do we have canned air? Do we have O2 masks or anything like that?
You would know that, as is kind of standard protocol for a mid-bulk transport, there is always an Atmos suit that is kept on the bridge for any type of problem so that the pilot can continue on their course. And you did, in fact, have a Atmos suit in the lockers in the lower level of the bridge.
I'm going to put it on. And that'll be one less person stuck in there.
Okay, so your action for this moment, you guys are going, if you agree on this, you're going down to put on the Atmos suit.
He's going to put on the Atmos suit. I'm immediately trying to figure out what's going on. I'm assuming that if I pass out while he's doing that, like, I got to get life support back on. There's a kid downstairs. It's priority number 1.
There's also 6 pigs that I feel like you are...
You know what? That's just going to be some frosty bacon later. I don't care.
The good news is it'll keep, probably. Lord Conti donated 16. Everybody gets a plot point.
Yay! Thank you.
Greg, I'm going to tell you right now, just be glad that Eric isn't on this ship right now, because you mentioned frozen pig. He would kick your ass. You ain't seen my husband in a brawl before.
I said that out of character, so you can bite me.
All right. Thank you very much for the donation, my friend. They will be,
put
to good use. As you all are sitting there, okay, so we have Felix going for it, and then what I would like from you, Harriet, as you get over to the control console, and you're primarily looking at life support, correct?
Yeah, I wonder if I have to like divert almost all power from. I don't know anything about how the ship works. That's what I got Felix for, but I should know the basics at least, like get life support cord functions going.
Sure. Okay, I would like you to roll mental and then like repair or operate, something of that nature, and then if you can think of anything else that might help you out here.
I'm definitely going to be spending a plot point to keep a die in this situation. I had kind of given a pep talk. It was for the both of us. Would that influence, or is that only when I'm pep talking other people?
No, I'll go ahead and take it. You have to beat a 12. A 12 is what I rolled, so...
Okay, sorry. You said a mental?
A mental and then an operate or a repair.
And then a D6 for my influence, and then a plot point to keep everything. Okay, so I should be good to go. Shit.
Okay. And as Harriet is very determined and she gets there, I will let you know this as you sit down at the area that should give you just the generic readouts of how the courtesan is doing, how the air is working. That same wave of very oddly timed lighting surges is going through the panel. And as you look down, with that one that you just rolled, my complication is as follows. You hear Elizabeth coming through the intercoms as she says, well, down here, what would you like us to do? And she just disappears as the comms have apparently succumbed to whatever it is that's happening. Felix, as you get down to the locker at the edge and quickly open it up, you're able to reach in and you see the Atmos suit, and as you pull it out, you search around for a minute, but you can't find a helmet. And as you search and you kind of flip the suit and look in there, you realize on the lid of the trunk in which the Atmos suit was placed, there's a note. And it says, "Shallow breaths, bastard." Let us cut to the medbay as Dr. Rutherford and Elizabeth are frantically trying to seal up perhaps the most fragile section of the courtesan, but with the quick thinking of the doctor, it seems that the glass is in fact going to hold. And as Elizabeth is continuing to hit the intercom, trying to in vain to get a hold of the bridge, Dr. Rutherford, you know a dead mic when you see it. It's perhaps that a 12-year-old that's been on a sheltered society doesn't realize it's no longer working, as she's just clicking it, and she looks over at you desperately.
Okay, as she's looking at me desperately, can I tell what the next, like, what's our situation inside this room? Like, is our air okay? Like, is the doors staying closed?
It's funny you should ask, because it's at this point I'd like you to roll a survival check.
Ooh. Do I have survival? Yes, I do have survival. With what? Just base survive?
Just survive. The skill is
good.
survive.
Nice, I have a D4 and I'm super good at surviving, y'all.
Same.
Oh.
and with that, you beat the roll that was put in front of you. And as you sit around, you realize immediately that you're starting to feel a bit lightheaded. And you see Elizabeth as she kind of shakes her head a little bit too, and her lids get a little heavy. You realize that whatever's happening, while you should have at least an hour or two of air in this room, in all likelihood, the CO2 scrubbers are not working. And you are filling this room, the two of you, with carbon dioxide.
Okay, so our filtration systems on the fritz. Okay, so what Is the infiltration system like behind a wall? Is there like a unit where I can kind of operate and communicate with it, or is it just like behind like metal and stuff?
Yeah, with this, with the med suite being a prefab unit that's inserted into a Firefly, because Fireflies are vehicles that are built and then they are added into with different features, or they were back in the day. And the med suite that you're in was an additional feature. So as it's added in, it's basically just the recipient of a venting system. So you have an open vent, but you don't have any way of working with these scrubbers per se. You're not even sure if they're in the room or in a central unit somewhere or a hub.
Okay. Will I be able to leave? Well, no, because there's air flowing out of the room, so I don't get sucked out into space. Would there be any oxygen in this room? Because obviously, like for surgeries and stuff.
Yep, you do know that you have several cans of air that can be administered via mask, and you do have enough for you and Elizabeth.
Yeah, so I get one of the cans and I just say, come over here, child, come quickly, and I grab one of the cans, stay still, and I start like, if there's any like surgical tape or anything to wrap around, I just like wrapping the can around her back and like fixing the mask so she can't really mess with it, and then I like do the same with myself.
Okay, so she's sitting there and she's got the kind of the plastic mask, as you see kind of the breath beginning to create moisture on the inside of this, but you can see by the readout that it is in fact giving her O2 at this point, and you immediately feel that sense of lightheadedness go away. And as you're kind of wrapping her up and helping yourself, you see that Elizabeth reaches over into the drawer that you kind of just opened, and she says, you hear through the mask, "What are these for?" And she reaches out and she pulls out 2 blue gloves and looks at you. Oh, and let's cut over to the shuttle, as we have 2 people that are in need of doing something to save themselves. What would Bai and Lo Jiali like to do here?
So we gotta activate the grab something.
Mm-hmm. Lo Jiali, if you roll me a searchy search, I will let you know if you are able to find anything, while I'm assuming Bai is working on the grav locks.
A search? I don't see that as an option, as a thingy thing.
If you roll a mental, and
okay.
Yeah, let's see. I will.
Yeah, I can roll a mental.
Yeah, I will take a mental, and I will take a
focus, because I'm really determined on finding this.
It's exactly a focus.
Okay.
And I would even take a what's the other one? A notice, focus, or so yeah, if you want to roll a notice, a focus, and a mental, I'll let you know what you need to get.
D8, D6.
You need to beat an 11.
Fuck. 3, that's 6, that's 7. No.
Not
okay.
Great.
And so, as you're looking around, the complication that has happened at this point is you're just not able to find anything. This is not a shuttle that you're used to. There are plenty of kind of storage containers and things like that around, but you're just not looking in the right place in the time frame that you've been given. You're an intelligent woman. You would eventually find what you needed here, but you're just not. If you wanted to start from left to right, and what you needed was right to left, you just didn't get there in time.
Okay.
And so that's the complication. It's just a one-off for the scene. Bai, what would you like to be doing right now?
I would love to. Okay. So I don't know how to fix the ship and get the mag things working, but I do know that my husband would know. And so I've been working diligently to get the comms working to the ship, to get to the bridge. Because knowing my husband would be at the helm of the ship, which unfortunately, we're gonna try, right? That's what I'd be trying to do. Because I'm gonna need his help to walk me through what I need to do, right?
Okay, so what I will tell you this: as soon as you go and start to activate the comm station, and fans of the original show will realize that in Inara's shuttle, this was on the wall. There was a Cortex station where she interviewed or, looked at potential clients. And then there's the comm station there as well for intercom or intership communication. And as you go over and sit down and turn it on, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And at that moment, after you've elected to try the comms, you feel something pull and then snap. And you feel a drift as the shuttle begins to move more organically.
Yeah. Well, now I'm gonna divert more energy. Okay, I gotta open the panel and sort of like get something powering it. I know enough to get. I know, I worked on a farm. I know a little bit about fixing things and getting some power to something, just enough to get even like a 30-second conversation going. I need to know what I need to do, and I need my husband to walk me through this.
Okay.
So I will try to take the panel and cross the red wire to the black wire. I will try to jockey the little backup battery power to switch on just enough to get a signal over there.
Okay, so with emotion and heart behind this, I will let you roll a mental, a repair, and an operate. And I have only rolled a 3, which is going to give you another plot point should you choose to use it.
Can I use it right now? Yeah. Well, I might not use it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm going to use it. I'm going to spend the plot point. Does the plot point only last for this scene or right now?
You can use it for this scene, and then you can spend another one to use it for the rest of the episode. I'll also remind you that you can create assets with plot points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If they're realistic, you can't make an Alliance cruiser or something. But
Right. So to help us out here, I think I would like to spend 2 of my plot points to create a permanent asset, at least for in the shuttle, and that those are EVA suits.
Okay,
shuttles, space suits for us.
Right. As you are realize that you have just come untethered, you reach over and you are in you go to the very next compartment that Lo Zhao Li hadn't had a chance to get to yet. And as you open it up and you look in there, you reveal that there are, in fact, 2 EVA suits there, helmets and all.
So I was rolling operate, mental. I think I got enough anyways with 8. So that's fine.
Yep. And, you rolled a D4 there as well, which adds a complication. Here's the complication.
Yeah.
For this moment, you see that the door of the shuttle does not seem secure, as whatever has just happened as it pulled away from the main craft, it must have, and from how it's engaged, it's right next to that door. So it's part of the airlock. It's part of the connection with the courtesan.
Yeah.
And you think that when it pulled free, it
jostled it. Yeah.
I'd like you each to roll survival checks for me, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this physical survive, I guess?
There's a trait survive or skill survive.
Just the survive.
Just
survive. Yep.
Huh.
Okay, so as you both are you're floating, no gravity. As you're floating, you're able to kind of fend off that lightheadedness that you feel as you're beginning to quickly pull on these EVA suits. And it's getting colder and colder and colder. And you realize what little air is in here is being sucked out into the black through whatever damage was caused by the uncoupling of the power tether. And let's cut back to the bridge. And so as we cut back to the bridge, we have everyone realizing that their last go around here has failed. And at this moment on the lower level, Felix, you look up and you see the shuttle. You actually witness the tether snap and you see it begin to float deeper into the black. It's not making quick time because nobody's moving anymore, and any momentum that was gained by the courtesan was shared with the shuttle. So it's not like wind drag or anything is making it go in a different direction. It's just a natural float. And so you're seeing your husband drift away.
Okay. Felix will... do we have no gravity on the bridge as well?
No, strangely enough, the bridge and the medbay seem to have perfect gravity.
Okay. In which case, Felix will calmly head back up, as he's not going to do any running or heavy lifting or anything like that, because we have a limited amount of air. And turn to Harriet, and he says, "We don't have a helmet for the EVA suit." And I show her the note. Sabotage.
Well, isn't that just fantastic?
Which means we have a limited amount of oxygen.
Well, that's all right, honey. I think we might have another canister around here somewhere. Where's that damn med kit? I'd like to use one of my plot points to create an asset. Maybe just till the end of the scene, if it's like a can of air in a med kit or something like that. Not something that's meant to be used long term, but enough to keep Felix breathing.
Okay, I will tell you this. You do, in fact, find the med kit. It does, in fact, have a can of oxygen in it. And as soon as you open the med kit, you realize that the can on top has been pierced, as if somebody has run a knife into it. But because you are the first mate of the courtesan, you realize, well, we have another... And you kind of go back to the crate where it was, sift through some rags, and there is the extra can of air that you knew that you had put in there about 2 months ago. And so you were able to pull it out. This will be enough for one person to breathe for 1 minute. This is an emergency oxygen type of situation. This is not like a long term.
Toss it to Felix.
I will just put it. I'll sort of like. I would like to strap my belt around it so it's not going to, if we lose gravity, it's not going to float away. I've got it next to me, and I am going to run. I'm going to see if I can wrestle the ship's systems into figuring out what's happened, because I got to figure out what is wrong before I reset everything. Otherwise, it could just switch everything off again.
Can we set off an SOS signal as well, just in case? Like, we haven't even done that yet, and there is chance that somebody is gonna come, so if there is just a button or something that I can flip, if we have something similar to, like, Crybaby, anything at all that can boost a signal out there.
Right. I will tell you this. You can go for the comm array while, Felix, you're going to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like you to roll everything you got for the courtesan.
Okay.
This is your mental, your engineering, your whatever you've got, because this is... I'm going to go ahead and roll here so you'll know what you're going up against. So give me 1 second. And
Ain't no better pilot in the verse there. You got this, honey.
Okay, so you're rolling against the 10.
Okay, right. So we're going mental. We're going operate. Fix.
Yep, I'll take it.
Focus.
Yep, absolutely. This is a high pressure situation.
Fantastic. What else have I got? I presume Flyer won't come into this.
No, and the courtesan herself will not come into this because she's
not cooperating. Okay, let me just check other stuff got in the background. I am absolutely going to spend a plot point to keep one of these in, and an extra dice in, because...
Gotcha.
Is there anything else? Craft? No, I think that's going to be everything. So, yeah. That's my lot. Let's see how we do. That is a 16.
A 16, and with the 16, a complication does come into play because of the 1, but with a 16, you are also given a big damn die with that type of... So if you need it, it is there. That is a D12 to be used after all the rolls are in. It does not have to be declared until you throw that chip into the pot. So with the complication that comes into play, what I'm going to need is for both of you to roll a survival check.
Clear ball. And where's my survive? There we go. Oh God.
Side. Yep.
Oh,
honey.
Okay. So what ends up happening here is, as the complication begets another complication, as is the want of the Cortex Plus system, both of you, as you fail this roll, you feel lightheaded, and it gets worse. So you both have a standing condition, a D4 against you of lightheadedness. Now this can get taken away if you figure out a way to kind of counteract those events, but right now you're each working with that ability, and to let you know, it could get worse.
Okay, what do I get on a 16? What can I figure out about?
On a 16, here is what you figure out, as for a moment she's able to talk to you. The lights flash across, and for a moment you get a glimpse of what exactly is going in here. Earthen donated $50, and I guarantee you this is going to be fun.
Oh, Earthen lady. You're the best.
How bad can we make it? Oh, Earthen, I can make it real bad.
Oh, Earthen,
What?
What?
Okay. Earthen, I tell you what, if it's, I'm going to make it bad here, but for that type of donation, I can make it bad next episode, too. In fact, I already know how bad I'm going to make it for both of these times. So stay tuned. We're going to make this interesting.
All right.
So, as you are sitting there and as you're able to roll this 16, as the courtesan speaks to you for a moment, you realize the following, that whatever has happened, every door in the area, whether it be to one of the standing rooms, whether it be to any of the ancillary rooms, not the common spaces, the cargo bay, the mess hall, everything appears to be subject to the vacuum of space, that the courtesan herself has been ripped open. With this fluctuation and the read in which you were given, it looks as if the cargo bay door popped open for some reason. And you're not sure why. There was no warning. It bypassed both the personnel door, it bypassed the airlock and the secondary airlock, and the cargo bay door is open to space. Now, with that being known, you are also able, with that roll, to realize that if what you're seeing is right, it cannot be fixed in the cargo bay. It has to be fixed in the engine room.
Okay. We can't move. We can't move out of here.
Oh, honey, we can, but the way that we gotta go is not the way that you're gonna like. I say, pointing up to the escape pod above us.
Right. Okay. Let me just map this out in my head. Can we get to the engine bay without going through the cargo bay? Because the cargo bay is hard vacuum, and we don't have a spacesuit.
From what you were able to understand, every hallway, every common room, every artery of the courtesan is in a vacuum. She has been ripped from tip to tail.
Okay, and we don't have a suit, and I can't go out. Literally, that oxygen tank won't keep me. Realistically, could I use the oxygen tank with no fucking to get to the engine bay? I've got no way of repressurizing when I get there.
Once again, since you had over a 5, I'll give you this information. Since it would you could probably rig up something with the suit. You could probably rig up something with the air. However, when you open the door, Harriet will be subject to the vacuum of space. Yep.
Well, no, because there is the escape pod here in... So...
I can't navigate that, though. Well, I can, but I can't hit the ship.
Well, I can sit in the escape pod, and you can run, but that is a lot of faith I am putting in you, man. So, Harriet kind of walks over to him and puts a hand on his shoulder. Now, I don't much...
I will let you know this. We're going to go away from the scene and go to the med bay, but as almost as a cowboy from the earth that was, Felix is able to wrangle and kind of lasso around the horns the courtesan and bring to heel this problem, at least briefly. And as this information flutters and he reads these displays and these readouts that he has seen all of these times, and the system's right for just a second, just the briefest of moments, everything is right with the courtesan. And Felix, as you, out of the corner of your eye, as Harriet is coming up with this plan with the escape pod, you look over and you see that the comm relay comes to life, and beside it the scanner and the radar, and you see a blip come across the radar. And for a moment, the ship ID registers briefly, lit up in green letters that fade immediately. But it's enough time for you to read Dauntless. And let's cut to the Medbay. And Earthen, there you go. And as we cut to the Medbay, we have Dr. Rutherford and Elizabeth. Elizabeth now looking like a small blonde version of Bane, as she has a air mask around her face. And Dr. Rutherford, what would you like to do, as it is evident that this particular area of the courtesan may not hold up for too long under subject to the vacuum?
So do I have any do I have anything in the medical bay where I can get a readout of what's happening in the ship, like get some kind of idea of what's going on, the areas that are safe, where I can move? Because apart from the glass that I can see outside, I'm kind of blind with what's happening around me. So is there anything like here that I can kind of like a comm unit, like a terminal that gives me like a status of the ship, anything like that?
Okay, let's do this. Let's roll a mental, and because this is your kind of station, your Sancta Sanctorum, let's roll a no roll. So mental, no, and I will give you one more, like a fix or a repair or a notice or something like that. And I will roll. You have to beat an 8.
Okay, so get a D10, and then so do I get to use my specialities within the no? Because I got science in there.
Yeah, I'll take that as well.
Okay,
because
cool.
this is all in that wheelhouse.
12 plus D6, and then a notice, and then plus D8 for the notice. Oh.
Okay, so you are able to pull a 12 out of that, which will in fact give you a big damn hero coin, should you elect to use that. But you were also, let me put that up there in your growing area of chips. You are also rolled a 1, and that complication is as follows. I will give you the information that you have gleaned, but as it comes to a realization that as your mind turns back to the venting system that you had kind of dismissed before, but you were looking at it at a different approach. You know, how can I fix the scrubbers? The scrubbers probably aren't here. You dismissed the vent for a moment, but then you thought about it again, and as you went back, you realized that vent's open. It's connected to the other rooms at this level. You might be able to use it to plug into or get into access into some of the rooms beyond this one, rooms which may not have 3/4 of it made out of glass. And just at that admission of glass, you hear a crack. And as you turn, and as Elizabeth turns with her masked face and looks up, a single lightning bolt cracks down through the glass. And as we cut back to the shuttle, we are getting there just in time for Bai and Lo Zhaoli to furiously put on their EVA suits as they kind of check each other's helmets and kind of pull straps tight, as these were not fitted for either of them. These were probably ones that were for Felix and Harriet, but they have been put on, and quickly at that, as the door is beginning to hiss with the expulsion of the air. And as soon as you put on these masks, you realize that there's no air left to. The readouts on the suits immediately tell you you are in a vacuum.
That was good timing.
Don't count your chickens yet. And I'm going to test the comms of the EVA suits because I'm pretty sure they have short band radios, and hopefully we can get something going before we're out of range.
Sure, absolutely. You trigger the comms, and you guys realize that you can communicate with one another. There is a kind of a broadband communication where you can pick up each other's suit. You cannot hear or receive communications from the courtesan. And as I'm assuming, like, what do you say to...
Right, I'm saying, courtesan. Yeah. Felix, honey, and like tapping the thing, right?
Right, and you don't hear anything, and then you hear, well, now, I'm certainly not Felix, and this certainly isn't a courtesan, but, where are you? Are you in one of those shuttles floating away?
Do I know the voice?
You do not.
Hello, yes. We are in a shuttle. This is, apparently there have been technical difficulties.
I put my fingers through lips, like don't actually hold on. Like something's wrong.
Well, who is that now? Is that passenger you picked? Boy, honey, you picked the wrong boat to go a-sailing in. The wrong boat, I swear. You should have gotten aboard old Junior McNamara's Dauntless. We have food and drink and all kinds of magnificence that don't involve getting frozen to death or suffocating in this here black. But we'll be picking you up soon, and I might just offer you that, but provided you could keep a bit of a secret.
This is not in the radio.
Yeah, you guys can switch it off. We can only talk to each other.
I switch it off and tell Lao Charlie, being like, this person's a monster. I remember it's like I don't know much about the Dauntless, but I know that my husband, hated them. They said they did this. They did this.
You think this is sabotage then?
No, yeah. I enthusiastically nod as looking at it.
Okay. With that information, since we are in space and we're still kind of going, wee, are we still within range of like the grav thing to pick us up to the ship? You said we're drifting like side by side. Yeah.
You haven't checked on your current relationship to the courtesan. As you
well,
guys
the door's wide
sideways.
open. Can we peek?
Oh, it's not wide open. It's just the seal broke on it.
Oh.
I mean, you can open the door if you'd like. Yeah.
No, I feel like that.
I mean, there's no air in it. It's not a trick. There's no air inside, so opening the door's not going to really do anything.
Sure. Ka-dunk. I want to see where we're at. Or if there's a window, whatever's the least actiony thing.
Nothing. Courtesan, nothing.
Right. It's not that quick, but for a moment you look out and you see nothing but the black, just the empty nothingness of the big damn verse. And it takes you a moment, and as you look up, you see about 25-30 yards above you is the now dormant tail of the mid-bulk Firefly class as it's slowly drifting away.
Okay.
And also, as you look out, beyond the Firefly class, you see a long, silver, needle-like craft that appears to be closing.
Okay. With the information that this is probably sabotage, I'm going to click back on and be like, oh, like the comms be like, oh, coming to pick us up. Well, that would be much appreciated. And meanwhile, I want to be popping open like a panel near the door and checking for signs of sabotage, see if something was just unplugged, if something was cut, like all that, because I'd like to use my one of my signature assets to see if this was something sabotage, kind of something.
Absolutely. I will also let you know that Earthen is, while bad, can also be benevolent, as everyone receives a plot point, and Tia gets 2.
That's because you're in my campaign and you're afraid. I know what you're trying to do. I see right through you, but I'll take it.
I had that work this week too, so I'm going to give everybody a plot point. I'm killing somebody with extreme prejudice on Sunday. So.
Yeah, so I would like to just rip open a panel and check for sabotage, because the shuttles shouldn't just come off like that. There should be the gravity activated all the time.
I will tell you this, and I will not require you a roll, because as soon as you open the panel, this shuttle looks pristine. It doesn't
Okay.
appear to have been sabotaged in the least. However, what you will realize, because of knowledge that you possess, that you don't have to sabotage a shuttle to get it to detach from a main body. You just have to sabotage the grav locks on the ship itself.
Okay.
All right.
I'll relay this. I'm like, I believe the grav locks were sabotaged on the other side. Why am I German? We mentioned killing people on Sunday, and I've reverted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. And Lindy, I'm gonna need your help here.
Okay.
I need a good reason for why this would be here, because I'm willing to spend both my plot points for this thing.
Okay.
I either want some type of rope, like a lasso, and I'm gonna try to lasso the cord, and pull, and basically try to like yank it to the shuttle and somehow get it so we could pull ourselves this way, because we're in 0G. It's gonna be really hard. Or like have like some sort of like grappling gun or something like that. Like, why would this be on the ship? Like, why would this thing be here? You know what I'm talking about? Like some kind of like harpoon or like something that we can use.
Space whale hunting, obviously.
Like I'm thinking like there's like electrical power cable that's like dangling in space right now. It's just doing that thing out there.
Yeah,
and we can like maybe see it from the window and like every couple of rotations. And if there was just something in the ship we could use to like open the door and like grab that. Alternatively, we jump out of the ship and go for that. Right? Like, what do you think? Because like I don't want to like this is like a definitive thing, and like I totally would make the decision if you want, but like I also don't want to like do something without your like decision, because we're in a shuttle and we're gonna die together.
We are in a shuttle.
I mean, like, I want to like make sure we're on the same page here.
This reminds me of a situation with my third husband was in once. We need to get onto the main ship. We can't stay on this shuttle.
Right.
So
we're gonna jump.
Who is that's in there?
Oh, there's a fire extinguisher. There's a fire extinguisher in the shuttle.
There would be a fire extinguisher.
As a
we're
thruster.
We're gonna wally the shit out of this.
Yeah, we're gonna jump out of the ship with a fire extinguisher to like push ourselves towards the shuttle and use that to compensate for us.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, so I opened the door. Can I take the hinges off and use we can hide behind the door as it's getting propelled to make it look like the door is just drifting into the Serenity, and so that it doesn't look like we're drifting into it.
Well, I wouldn't allow you to use that, because it's not like it's that shabbily designed where you can just pop the door off of it.
The hinges, man!
Right. I will tell you this, that you could easily get a large section of one of the storage, like you could pop off a storage container. Yeah, one of the storage panels could pop off. It'd probably be almost as big as the door, yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that, and so we can hide behind it while we propel towards the courtesan.
Okay, so to recap, Lo Zhao Li is going to be holding the panel, and Bai is going to be propulsion.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as the shuttle kind of begins its rock, you guys are going to make your jump, right? You have to jump, clear it, and then, okay.
Yeah.
So, what I want you both to roll here is, it's just going to be Bai. I want Bai to roll a physical and anything else that you can think of that's going to help you with this navigation.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to be pretty focused.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to do two things here. I'm spending both my plot points for this. This will be definitely physical, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be either it's going to be either drive or operate.
I'll go with operate.
Yeah, unless this is something like unless I could treat this as a survive, which I don't think it really is.
This is not necessarily a survive, but I would say you have to beat an
operate.
11 here. So.
Yeah, no problem, right? So here's how I'm spending my plot points. I'm totally going to spend a plot point here to gain my steady, so I can add my focus to this roll, and then I'm also going to create an asset using that extinguisher as like an SRS thruster.
Okay,
right?
So that's a D6 for you, an additional D6 as the asset. Yeah.
All right. So here's my physical roll. Here's my operate. Here's my
Focus.
My focus is a D8. And that's good, because I got it. And then here is, lastly, the extinguisher, which is a D6.
No!
Okay. Well, I got a jinx.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay,
But,
so yeah, with it's one
I got an
complication that comes your way, right? But you're able to, with an 11, you are able to leap free of the shuttle, and you guys are moving towards the courtesan as you activate the extinguisher, and as the chemical retardant fires out of the back, you are pushed towards the courtesan. And the complication for all of this is your husband sees it. And so as Felix is sitting, he sees these two figures jump out of the shuttle, and as they launch, they seem to be coming directly towards the front of the courtesan. We cut back to the bridge as the two spacewalkers, but you guys are now, as the rocking of both crafts, as they've come back around, this is the complication is you guys kind of hit as the blades of the clock met one another, and you jump at the courtesan. So as you're flying towards that, Felix and Harriet, we are in the bridge. You're both feeling very lightheaded. What would you like to do? Felix, you turn just in time to see these two crazy sons of bitches jumping toward you.
Do I get any manner of feeling like Felix is gonna run back to the front of the ship to try and save his husband? Do you look like you're gonna stop what you're doing at all? Okay,
No.
good. Okay.
You Felix sees this happening, like groggily, being quite delirious from
You
oxygen.
took the air
deprivation.
can with you, right?
Yeah, I've got it strapped
Okay.
to my hip, but I haven't had a chance to use it because it happened like right at the end. We failed, so I'm going to. I've already put on the suit. I just don't have the helmet. I'm going to bodge job myself a new EVA helmet of some kind.
What are we doing? We're idiots. The emergency storage is right above us. You go to the escape pod and to the right. Huh! I'm going up.
Hold on. Let me just bring up my blueprint. Emergency storage. Airtight hatch. Yep.
I'm going in there for a while. But you go and get this ship. You go on and get this ship working, honey.
Okay, so I'll give her a hand up, and I will, tell her to sit tight. You're armed, right?
Always.
Cool.
I was about to turn my pistol on you and get you to go down that hallway if you try to do anything stupid with your husband.
No. I also will make sure I strap my revolver to. I'll basically take off my belt and I'm gonna make a holster sort of to attach to the outside. Well, no, the EVA suit would have fucking. Actually, then again, I can't fire in vacuum, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, honey, just remember, if you die, the ship's mine.
I gesture for Harriet's knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will take what's his name?
Buffalo Tom Thick.
Buffalo Tom Thick's knife, which I will use my belt to sheath to my hip, and
I'll be wanting that back, sweetie.
well, if you don't freeze to death, I've succeeded, and therefore you owe me anyway. He says, sort of joking, sort of not.
Yeah, I'm already I'm already halfway doing the pull up in there. You can see my legs kicking as I'm going up into the air pod.
And I'm going to, I'm going to do myself a bodge job. What do I need to roll to sort of make this EVA suit?
Right, here's what I want you to roll. You're going to be rolling a mental, because this is just, you're figuring out how the hell to keep yourself alive. A craft. So you're a mental craft, and I would accept a no here. So.
No.
And of course you've got plot points, and you've got a big damn die. But I will also tell you that I need to roll something too, so I'll go ahead and get mine fired up.
No, you don't. You don't need to roll anything. It's fine. This is fine.
Oh,
That's a 1. Ah, your rolls are great. Keep going.
Yep. So that's a 10 that you have to beat, and you get another plot point because I rolled a.
you rolled a doozy. Right, I'm gonna. In which case, I'm gonna use. What can I use? Right, I've already got the oxygen tank. I am going to. Yeah, I'm just going to use a plot point to keep some in because I can't think of. Without saying, I find a helmet. Like,
Yeah, you
here we
can't.
go.
There's not currently one
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
bridge. However, I will tell you this: if you're looking for something that could potentially be used in a very short period of time, not taking into consideration the bleed of temperature or heat or cold or anything like that, you could probably use something that would be flexible, like a bag of some sorts, or even something that might be found inside the medical supply container, something of like almost like a biohazardous disposal bag. It would have you'd be blind as a bat, but it would be sealed enough to protect you for a very short period of time.
No, it's not worth the trade-off. Being blind and short-lived time. No, I'd. In which case, I am going to use the oxygen breather mask, and that's going to be it. And I am going to just fucking hurt a lot in this.
All right, well, let's see what your roll is first before we.
I'm going to spend a plot point to keep another die in because that's.
Gotcha.
Here we go. Okay. Think big. Yes! 14! Okay. Ignore the complication. This is not important. We don't need to think about the complication.
Okay, so right. So with a 14, you are able to succeed in what you believe to be enough to give you maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds of vacuum protection before it would evaporate. The complication is you realize that to get into the engine room, you're going to have to open it and expose it to the vacuum as well.
So here's the thing. I realize this is a problem. If we're dead in the water, if I get into the engine room, that's great. But if I can get in, that means air can get out. And I have no way of repressurizing the engine room with and filling it with oxygen. So essentially, if I get there and I don't fix it instantaneously, I die.
Yeah, your protection would end.
Yeah.
As you're pondering this, and as you have given your roll, and Harriet's climbed up into the access area, we're going to cut back to the medbay as Dr. Rutherford and Elizabeth are standing there. Elizabeth she has 2 of the blue gloves on her hands, as if thinking perhaps that'll help in some way, as they're oversized latex gloves, as she's standing there with the Bane mask on, eyes darting from the crack in the glass to Dr. Rutherford, back and forth. Dr. Rutherford, what would you like to do?
So what I'm going to do is just get anything that's kind of long and like hard, maybe like a cylinder that has like some kind of like CO2 or something in it, and I'm just gonna like prop it up and like smash through the vent so I can start like climbing through. Does it look like both like me and her can fit in?
I tell you what I'll do. If you want to spend a plot point, I will give you an asset that is essentially a bone saw.
I was gonna create an asset if you said no. And let me know if I can do this because I do have technology. You know those kind of pliers that they have to kind of open and crack ribs.
Yeah, like the hydraulic ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I have them, but it's automated. So I wanted to use it and like use it on the vent, so it would automatically just like prop open. At least like
that's cooler than the bone saw. So I absolutely give you the rib cracking hydraulic pliers. I will take away one of your plot points for that little asset.
It's like boop, and it does it for me.
Yep, and as you do that, you're able to get yourselves out. But what I'm going to need for you to roll is this. I need a mental roll. I'm going to need a repair and your asset, a D6 that you're able to add to that, and anything else you could convince me of. As we see, this isn't. You could do it. You figured it out, but do you have the time to do it? And that's what we'll say.
Okay.
As that is a max of 14.
Okay, I'm gonna use my hero die. So that's D12 on that, right?
And you can, is depending upon, right now we have 3 things that you're rolling. You can spend another plot point to keep all 3 or your 3 highest. And if you can figure out anything else to add to that die pool, I will definitely give it to you if you can convince me.
So that was a mental and fix, right? I don't think I have fix. No, I do have fix. It's a D6. And then I'll probably add like craft technology, maybe, to kind of like make it go faster, to kind of just like overcharge it so that it kind of like sparks out.
Yeah, like you're just going to try to like a one-up it and just have it burn out, but it'll do it fast. I love it. You've convinced me. You can add that.
D10 plus the D6 for that. And a D6 for the asset as well.
And you are spending another plot point to keep the top 3 scores?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And that was another D6. I'm running so many dice. I think that's it, really. Focused, maybe?
Yeah, I'll definitely take a focus here because this is life or death.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, it is. And I have a keen mind with that as well, so I'll do that. 6. Boom. 2 1s though.
Holy shit, snacks.
Okay, so you're able to hit with a 20 is what you're able to hit with.
That's 5 higher.
Yeah, which gets you another. I'm just going to leave your big damn hero die there as it comes right back into play. But there are 2 complications, which means as you kind of rig this hydraulic pulley system or plier system, like a jaws of life, you rip the vent across. And you're even able with that roll to get to the other vent as you kind of, John McClane it through the short vent between this and the next room. And you rip that vent across as well. And as you turn back around, Elizabeth is coming up and grabbing hold. And just as you grab hold of her hand and begin to pull her in, you hear the splintering of glass and then the explosion of glass as air begins to suck past you as you and this little girl are holding inside of this venting system. Let's cut back out to the black when we have Lo Zhao Li and Bai as they are flying towards the shuttle, or towards the courtesan, away from the shuttle. And as it comes forward, we're going to have a merger here between, as soon as Felix gets back. What you guys see, Bai and Lo Zhao Li, as you guys look off, you see this needle craft in the distance. It is definitely closing. It is on an approach course. It can't close at a rapid pace, though, because as we know in the Firefly universe, spaceships are subject to drift. So you have to make sure that you know how you're coming in. And right now, the courtesan, she's doing a bit of a corkscrew. We have 2 shuttles that are kind of floating errantly. So there's a lot of obstacles here for a ship to get in. And whoever's coming in seems to be very good. And as they are approaching, you can see the thrusters kind of shooting off the side of this long needle craft. And it seems to be approaching and coming in. And in your comm system, you hear, "Well, now what's going on to everything? Look at this. What a mess we have out here. I mean, this is disgusting to leave this type of slop just sprayed all over the verse and the black. I mean, it's bad enough that it's an ugly craft to begin with, but now we have pieces of it just floating around out here. It's like so much Gosa." And this kind of bragging, foghorn, leghorn type of voice begins to just kind of grate at your nerves as it's coming through. And what ends up happening is you're not sure, he is not mentioned in this constant monologue and rhetoric that he is witnessed or noticed by and Lo Zhao Li coming out of the shuttlecraft. But as you guys drift forward, you actually drift forward, and you, for a moment, grab hold as this piece of storage container blocks the sight of the Dauntless. And for a moment, Felix, you turn and look up, and you see through the glass and through the mask of an EVA suit your husband and Lo Jiali as they are looking at you. They cannot hear you, but they are looking at you. Is there anything that anybody of the three of you would like to do at this moment? This is a chance for communication, albeit not the technology kind that we have become accustomed.
Well, there is something we could totally do, which we would know. We would know Morse code, and there's a flashlight on the on the light of your of the EVA suits to the side, right? And so I press the button behind it or whatever, and I tap ni hao on the S.
That is worth a plot point, as that is balls to the wall awesome. There you go.
You're such a guy.
The better. Yeah, I would have been better to say, "What did you do, husband?" And
10 minutes later, right?
Yeah, right. So I think once we're in line with so we see the window cockpit has been shut out, right? Like we see that, and it's floating near us, right?
The cargo bay door is open. Because
so we're in the other way.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the cargo
you guys
bay
are
door
coming
of
from
Firefly,
the ass end of
Right.
Courtesan.
It floated around, and now you guys are at the nose of the Courtesan. You're looking in the front windows of the Courtesan as Felix is looking back, and as you kind of look down, you can see that the cargo bay door is wide open, as if you're planet bound. I mean, it's wide open. You can actually see Lo Jiali's car sitting in there.
Right. Well, I think the next thing to do will be to get ourselves in there.
I can just imagine like her floating there and then just hitting the clicker and the car just like doot doot. Like,
yes. Okay, so how are we going to get from our situation into the hangar bay? We still have this fire extinguisher to get us going. Well, we did. I could spend a plot point to get it again. But
Well, once we can grab the ship, we can kind of monkey crawl.
yeah, how far away are we from the ship? Can we do a leap of faith here to get to the ship?
Yeah,
taking off the metal bar thing?
You are on the Courtesan. You are.
Oh, we're on it.
You are literally looking in the front
we grabbed
windows.
it. Okay, sorry.
We just gotta get inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then I'm gonna probably do something like get the attention, and I'm gonna do we are going inside, trying to point to for my husband, for Felix to see, whatever, we are going inside. And we're gonna we don't have magnetic boots, right? That's not a thing, right?
Yeah. The EVAs have mag boots. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
cool.
how,
Then
for salvage, that's what you kind of need them.
Right. I couldn't remember if that was Firefly or the Expanse had them, and I didn't want to mess up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Everybody has them. Star Trek has them.
Everybody has them. It's
all right. Yeah. So we're not gonna fall off if we can walk into the ship. But I guess the first thing. No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry. I'm going to amend my answer a little bit. I'm not going in the ship just yet. I'm going to order Lao Jiali to go into the ship. I'm going to look outside for any sorts of damages or anything that is obviously wrong.
Okay.
So I can tell my husband or anyone else what is, if there's something on the outside, there's some sort of EMP bomb charge thing that's affecting the ship, or something like that. I'm on the lookout for something like that.
And I'm sure we notice that Mr. Felix does not have a helmet on his spacesuit.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
And as you guys are kind of discussing this back and forth, Lo Jiali, and as you guys are talking, Felix, as you're sitting there, you realize that you can hear them, as the suit that you're wearing, the actual audio piece is still in it, but the communication piece is not in it. So you can hear them. You can hear what they're saying now that they've started talking to one another.
Yeah.
If they're looking in, I will put the earbud in and just tap my chest and then point to them and
So you can
And
hear
then-
us, but we can't. Or no, we can hear you, but yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Over the circle and then into the spaceship. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Is there extra spacesuits somewhere I could get you a helmet?
Right. Yeah.
How do I?
I would know where they are.
How do
I
I?
would-
By, you would know that
how
there's
do I
EVA suits. Yeah,
Yeah,
By
How
would
do
know
I
that there's
sign
EVA suits.
sabotage? Yeah.
Yeah. By would know that there's EVA suits in the cargo bay.
The cargo bay?
Yeah, but he wouldn't know that there's been issues with the suits so far, unless you
Um,
communicate with him. He
Ah,
can see you.
no. But I have a note which I'm carrying because I showed Harriet. So I walk over to the cockpit glass and I press
Bang on it.
and
Yeah.
I press the note, like the post-it note, in place, and I just give him a grim shake of the head. Do I even know the Dauntless is coming up on us right now? Because I have no. I
You
know.
saw
I
a
saw the
flash
com. I
on
saw
the
the com.
scanner. Yeah.
I'll just say com, and then I have paper. There will be a pen. No, there'll be a pencil. There'd be a pencil on
Yep.
somewhere because you don't use pens in space. Yeah, I will like grab like a pencil off like a clipboard or something and just write sabotage.
Mm.
Sabotage by and then whatever like shorthand for Dauntless would be.
Mhm. Just point. Sabotage.
Yeah. Yeah, and I nod as I understand what you're saying, and I have one question for you that I'm going to try to convey as like brief as possible. It would be, like,
I can hear you.
Good.
Remember?
right? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I can say, do we like? I'm going to look at you very like dreadfully, like dearly when I say this. Do we want their like? Do we need their help? Like, is it bad? Because like you're telling the ship is like sabotage, it's bad. So I'll like damage report for you. Right?
Okay,
like,
yeah. I write because I don't have a lot of paper to write. I'm like
Right.
fix because I like the idea of having
Well,
to
I'm like thumbs up or down, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Do we need their help?
okay,
and then fix in engine room. I fix in engine room.
I'm already
Yeah.
starting to walk towards
Right.
the thing while they're having their
Right.
husband talk.
right. As soon as you say we don't need their help, I can ostensibly figure out that means we can just get to the engine room and maybe do something.
Yeah, and
Right.
bring
Right.
helmet.
Right. Yeah. I say all right. Hang tight. Yeah, hang tight, husband. Well, we're gonna get you there.
Okay, so as you guys kind of have this exchange as it's going through, Lo Jia Li, as you begin your progression down, you make it all the way in and kind of leap and jump into the open mouth of the cargo bay door. You realize that with the mag boots, you kind of stick immediately to the floor of the mid-bulk transport, and you can see that you have pretty much of a straight shot back to the back of the ship and to the engine room. And as you kind of turn back to look and see by, you realize that now just maybe a mile and a half off is the Dauntless, and she is coming in, apparently aware now that there is someone trying to help, or there's some actions being taken, and where there was care and skill before, you see a urgency in her approach.
Well, Bai told me where to find the spacesuits. Can I like flip open that locker to see if there's any helmets?
None.
Okay. But there's extra spacesuits, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna grab like 2 spacesuits and just start
Okay.
hooking it towards
As
the
you pull them out, you realize that as you pull them off the hanger, well, it's not, they're kind of like in a little bit of a cloakroom with a peg kind of hanging them up. As you pull them out, the legs stay in there. It seems that they had been severed about mid-thigh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start tying the legs shut.
Okay. As we do all of this, Lo, even though you can't hear it, you turn and look, and because the med bay is just off of the cargo bay, and as described in the narrative, all doors are open, you see glass spray out and then in as air comes whooshing past you, and you see these little shards of glass come flying by. Nothing that can do anything to you, but you realize that something has just become has become decompressed. And as that realization goes through you, I'd like to know what Bai's doing right now.
Yeah, after I've spoken to Felix, I mean, I have to get inside the ship. And so, because I did ask if there's anything I can see outside the ship, if there's any sort of like, I'm thinking of the very first episode of Firefly when they're at the Reaver ship and there's like the bomb thing attached to the ship. Like, do I see anything on the ship that looks like this caused it? Or this is the vector for like the hack into the ship or anything like that? Like, is there clearly something on the outside of the ship that shouldn't be there?
No roll required here. Absolutely nothing seems to be wrong with the courtesan. So I will allow you to join Lo Jiali as you guys have an approaching craft.
The door. Yeah.
Yep, and the door does not close. You have.
I would manually close it.
It does not close.
It's the whole cargo bay door. The big fucking ramp.
Yeah. There's no like manual crankshaft thing.
There's no power.
Oh my god, you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't have the strength.
Well, it seems that for whatever reason, it's not closing. So, what your husband said, the engine room seems to be the source of the trouble. And as you are out of earshot now, he may be able to hear you. You're not sure. He cannot speak to you. But as all this is going on, we need to switch back to inside the medbay as Dr. Rutherford is holding on to Elizabeth. Dr. Rutherford, as you are alone, and all that is there is a 12-year-old girl to bear witness to what is going on, I will let you know the following. You can save yourself without a roll. You are going to have to roll if you want to save yourself and Elizabeth.
I leave.
Ha! Oh, you didn't. Sorry.
Okay, so you let go of Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay. So as you let go of this 12-year-old girl, for a moment, the blue glove that's on her hand holds on to yours. And even though you release, the glove stays behind as it just tickles over your fingertips, as if it likes where it is. But the girl scoots back and flies out of the vent, out of the medbay, and past Lo Jiali and Bai as they see her being swept out in the air currents into the black. And you jump down into a room full of pigs as the emergency door in the vent goes shut.
There's no time for me to grab them. I'm right there.
You can try to grab Elizabeth as she's going by, but she's currently in vacuum.
Yeah. Can I try to catch her in one of those spacesuits?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm totally going to grab her.
Okay.
Yes. I don't care if this doesn't save her, obviously, but like, there's no way I'm not going to do that as a human being. So
okay. I will do the following.
Oh.
Yeah, that seems really difficult.
With a 13, and I will give you this hint. You are currently standing beside the hover car of Lo Jiali.
Yeah.
Not sure if it'll give any type of shelter to this girl. It has a top on it, but...
Right, but if I open it, it's going to decompress.
You have no clue what's going to happen. You could roll perfectly on this, and it is a determination that will be made at a later date.
So is this a question of me grabbing them, or can this be a question of me grabbing them and putting them in the car in all one action?
All one action. I'll allow it to.
Okay.
I'm going to require you, though, to roll or use at least 2 of your plot points here.
Well, that's impossible because I only have 1.
To use 1 plot point here, yes, and
yeah, that makes sense.
Pray to RNGesus.
Yeah, that's fine. Boy, this is obviously going to be physical.
Yep.
And here's an issue here. I have to use a plot point just to do this action.
Yeah.
I literally can't beat that.
No.
I literally, like, even if I rolled double sixes, if I rolled boxcars, I could not do it.
Okay, well, we'll tell you this. I won't.
No.
You have to use the plot point as part of this roll. So if you want to roll 3 things, you have to use that as. You have to expend this plot point in this roll in some manner.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
So that's like
now.
the third die roll. Yeah.
Right. Well, I got to use it for steady because I have no other way of doing it. So I'm gonna add my. No wait. Or wait. No. How? What are you doing, Lars?
Just open the door, shove it, and shut it.
That's what I'm trying to do, but there's no way for me to beat a 13.
I know.
So here's I would have to roll a d8 and add to a d6, and I would have to get either a 13 or 14.
You just got another plot point from that guy.
You got another plot point. You got another plot point. Chat's coming to the rescue.
All right, Chat. Thank you. So then I can technically keep another die, right? Is that possible?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to do that. So I'm gonna roll my 3 dice and keep a die. Yeah, I'm saving her. Okay. Boy, here's the. All right.
Bye.
Can I
D6.
chuck the spacesuit in behind the car?
For physical. What is my skill for this? Operate, you said?
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take an operate. That sounds good. Physical, operate, move.
Focus.
Oh, no, it'd be move. Yeah, it'd be move.
Focus.
All right. And focus. Boy. Nope. Don't do it.
Okay. Do you have as the car is there? I will, and this is not me trying to pile on rolls here. Lo Jiali is there. If she offers to help,
I was
she can add
trying to help.
Yeah, you can add 1 die roll to this, whether it's a physical, whether it's something, you can pick a die roll to add to this. And we've had the 3 plot points. You had 2 plot points though, so you can roll something else if you can think about it to add to that, because you can spend on a 3rd and 4th roll.
I only had 2. I had 2 plot points total. I had to spend 1 to actually do this roll, and then I spent the other one for my steady. So I actually don't have any. However, you helping me means that I can still keep 3 dice, which means if you help me leisurely, you have to roll a 6.
Okay,
at least
great.
a 6.
I
could take a 7 or 8.
Yeah, no, that was great. I was just trying to think of what I could roll.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to roll the hard 6.
So be like physical drive, maybe like as a remote start on the car to maybe be like just make it easier for him to chuck her in there.
Perform. Yeah.
Move, maybe.
Yeah. I'm like I don't have anything. This is up to you.
I'm gonna sneak her into the car.
Yeah, no, you're not. But that's, you can,
I tried.
Survive?
yeah,
Can you survive on behalf of someone else?
You don't want me to survive.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's become evidently clear since you got on board. We don't want you to survive.
That's obvious. That's really obvious. Yeah, it's gonna be a D6 with everything. Because she's not. I can't use that distinction. I can't use any of my distinctions on this. Doesn't look like it's gonna be a thing. My distinctions will come in handy someday. If this ever happens, if we survive. Okay, I'm just gonna roll a D6 for whatever physical drive, focus, whatever.
Sure.
Oh my god!
I refuse to believe you pulled that.
Yes!
Sometimes you got to roll the hard 6. Oh, I love it.
Oh my god!
Okay, so as
My
one,
god!
almost as a
Why do you play role playing games?
almost as if it's a choreographed move, as this geyser of air is carrying out this little girl in a surfing pattern, just as the air passes by the hover car of Lo Jiali as one, as a
Can I
unit
use
in sync.
the spacesuit to help shove her in there?
Yeah, you can, as soon as you take the spacesuit, wrap it around the girl, as Bai opens the door, and within a second, the girl is inside the car, and you slam the car door shut just as the last of the air goes past. You're not sure if that pressurization helped. You cannot see inside, as the glass in the car is also frosted and opaque, but you were able to open the door. You were able to get her inside, and you were able to close the door. But that
I want to go chick chick and lock the car.
You don't hear it, but the lights go.
Yeah.
So as you get everything in there, you're able to realize that you're not sure how long Elizabeth has in there, and you know the Dauntless is coming, and you know from what Felix told you, it's the engine room or bust.
Yeah,
and we are going to stay
Felix
with Lo Jiali and Bai, as this is now their show. Felix, Harriet, as you guys look up, Dr. Rutherford, you are currently sitting in a room full of pigs, as they are all around you as you are. They seem to be fine. It's a little cold in here, but the pigs are otherwise, it's fortunate they've been moved into this room that has air, but the air is not being circulated, and it is not pleasant. Felix and Harriet, as you guys, Harriet's in the little capsule. Felix, you are able to bear sole witness to the oncoming Dauntless as it gets closer and closer, and you see the thrusting lights and the running lights start to come on as she is moving in, and at about a half mile out, a door opens along the side, and you see two EVA suited forms standing there as they appear to be holding something, but at this distance you cannot see what it is. Bai, Lo Jiali, what are you going to do?
Right. I think we're thinking about it, and we're typing each other about the plan here. I think maybe Lo Jiali and Elizabeth are going to work to get the door closed using the car, and I'm going to get to the engine room. I think.
While that's happening, Felix feel kind of bad about this. Felix is pretty much told Bai to go get the suit just because that gives him something to do. Felix left the second they left and is going to try and one-man it to the engine room, because it needs to be him who fixes this, and if he dies doing it, he dies trying to save his crew.
Okay,
so,
as narratively as this happens, you look out, you see the ship coming towards you, and you realize it is go time. Harriet, as you are up in the kind of the crawl space there, your ears actually pop as whatever pressure is still evident between this compartment and the bridge expires, as Felix opens the door and he almost gets sucked out as it pulls him into the personnel hallway just past where your rooms are and everything. And as you're kind of stumbling down the hallway, Felix, I'd like you to roll a survival roll for me as we get started. You are already lightheaded, so I will add that to that.
Oh my god. Okay. Can I use anything to? Can I use the oxygen tank?
Yep.
To.
That's a D6 asset that you are able to use, and you can continue to use it.
Okay, so I've got the D6, which is there. Okay. And it's to survive. Oh, come on, baby. Sorry. There we go. Survive is... Oh, God. This is not my strongest roll. It is my strongest roll. It's a 6 when I need it. I'm good.
Very good. And 4 plot points to Josh for straight bravery from Earthen.
Thank you. I'm going to die, but thank you.
So as you're going through there, I will keep one of those points back, as you would have had to have used that to use the oxygen tank to extend it past that scene. So you're currently going in, you're able to make it, and almost like Mal returning from the cargo hold to the bridge and out of gas, or from the engine room to the bridge and out of gas, you're taking a return trip as you're stumbling through, trying desperately to keep this intense cold and this feeling of a collapsing chest as you stumble down towards the engine room. Make one more survival check for me as you're going. You still have to beat my initial roll of a 6.
Okay. What can I use to? How can I use plot points? Because my survive is a 4, which means
You can roll your survival, and you can add a d6 for the air can that you have.
Okay, yeah. So once again, let's roll. And then my d6 is. Did I? Yeah, 7.
Okay.
Oh, I'm alive.
So as you're stumbling through here, you're continuing to get more and more lightheaded. And by what you see is this: as you're heading towards, just as you're on your way and you enter that hallway, the hallway that Wash was shot down, or whenever he was running, you enter that hallway, and several steps in front of you, you see your husband stumbling in some makeshift Frankensteinian suit that he's made, as he is literally dragging his feet in this low gravity, trying to hold on, as he has just made it to the sealed engine room door.
Boy, what happens if I give him my helmet?
Nothing. We both die.
Okay, that doesn't work.
I have no way of pumping air back into there. Like, there will be a limited amount.
Right. Then if you're there, I mean, I'm gonna help. I see you dragging and trying to like get the door open, right? And then like my EVA hands like go on your hands to like help get the door open. And I think we're gonna do that. I'm gonna look at you. You can't. Can you hear me now? Can you finally hear me?
He can't hear
I
you
can
now.
I can hear you.
It's very, very weak and garbled because the air in his little makeshift suit is not real good for.
Right.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
I grab you and I say like, like I got you. I have you. I love you. Like I love you. You're gonna be okay.
And
we're gonna
Felix,
get this door open.
Yeah, Felix, you just hear that very faint "I love you" as it's coming through, and you feel these arms grab a hold and carry you through as an EVA hand rips open the engine room door and air rushes out. You guys are able to get in and close it. What I want from you is this, my married couple. I want a physical roll, and whatever else will help by get that door closed. And I want a straight mental fix, and whatever Josh, you think Felix would use to identify this problem.
Mental fix. Hold on. Right.
I'm keeping you conscious, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, remember that one Persephone? Remember when you bought me that necklace? Like, hey, remember with the gold trim and the opals? I'm just doing these things to just keep you like, hey, stay with me, come on.
Okay, if you notice my rolls that I just had, I had 3 1s and a 12. So with 3 plot points coming back to you guys to use however you would like, and a 12 for a 13 total, this is what both of you guys are rolling against here, as Bai is able to keep him up enough for 1 roll, as he is able to see and identify and perhaps stop whatever's happening to the courtesan, as Bai is going to perform a roll that may buy Felix a little more time.
Right. Well, I would love to use one of those plot points to create an asset in this situation.
Sure. What would you like to
I would love to spend it, and I just kind of was describing it. It's going to be our memories, good memories, keep you focused, keep you alive, keep you on the job here.
Focus.
And I have for my hitch distinction, I have when you create an asset related to our relationship, I step it up, so it's actually 1 step higher than the regular D6.
Oh, you're genius!
You have a D8 to roll here, as the thoughts of you and your husband go through your mind, as all you can see is the problem at hand, how to solve it. And you just stumble into the room as Bai, I need to know how you get that door closed as quickly as is humanly possible. You can close it. We just want to know how quickly you can do it.
Right. So I have to close. So it's a physical. I can't use labor.
Yeah, I'll
survive. Like, is this survive?
Yeah, I'll take a physical. I'll take a labor. I'll take a move. I'll take even an operate if this is to get
Right.
a particular piece of equipment closed.
No, I have to get a 13.
You have to get a 13. That is correct.
Okay.
And you guys have 2 plot points you have not
Good.
used yet.
Well, I'm gonna I want to use that. I'm gonna use the asset that I just made for this scene for sure.
Okay. D8.
So, like as much as it is for Felix, it's also for me. So physical.
I'll let you both use it, and I'll just take away another plot point. But you guys
labor, and then my asset. 14.
Nice. So
Fucking what the fuck?
Yes!
And I was like, we're gonna have more memories, Felix. We're gonna make more of them, and I'm getting this story down close. We're getting through this. Come on, focus. Get this engine set up.
So with a barbaric yelp, as this flood of emotion, love, and memories,
Get the door closed.
slams the door shut, and there is some Atmo remaining in this room as Felix stumbles forward and looks around. Make that roll for me, Josh. Josh. Right.
Make that roll. I need to save Firefly. That's what I need to do. I need to save this Firefly right here.
Right.
Okay, right. So I am going fucking all out for this. I will not let the crew down. So it's going to be a mental. It's going to be a fix. It's going to be focus. It'll be, what else have I got?
My memory thing, my asset for
memory, which is a D8. D8. Okay, and then I've
big damn hero die if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep 3 rolls. Here's a plot point.
Make sure you keep exactly what Leisurely said.
Yep. Can I use operate if I'm literally working on the engine?
Nope, but I will let you spend a plot point as the courtesan is awake in here. So you can jump the courtesan up to an 8 with another plot point expenditure, and that would give you a D8 and the D12 for the big damn hero die.
Okay, I'm going to use operate just in lieu of the big damn hero die because it's 12. So
Sure.
I'm add that to my pool because I want to roll this all as wait. Why didn't you operate?
Now, I will tell you this. You do not have to stop at one plot point to add another.
Yeah. Oh, no. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. I told you I'm going all out. I'm going all out. Oh, hold on. So, right. Here we go. So, for some reason that's done that, but we'll go back. Operate. There we go. So that's for my big damn hero. Fix. Focus. No. Specifically, this is no's general knowledge, isn't it? As opposed to engine. Yeah.
And
Okay.
you have the D8 for the courtesan as she is awake in here, and you spent the plot point already.
There's the D8 for the family or the.
And the
memories.
D8 for the memories, the love and the memories.
Okay. Alright. There we
D8
go.
from my man.
My man.
Let him fly, man.
Right, I am gonna spend how many? That's my big damn hero, and two plot points to hold.
Everything counts then. It's rolling, right?
Yep. So how many is that? I'm rolling 4 dice. I'm counting the top 4.
Everything that you're rolling is counted right now.
Oh,
Let's fucking do this. That is no,
14.
No jinxes. 14.
Look at that roll.
he gets another big damn hero die, right?
Oh yeah, the big damn hero die comes right back to you as you look in, and it immediately you saw one of these before in the war. You know what it is. And you don't know, it's easy to miss if you're just doing routine maintenance, but you see it almost as if the courtesan wants you to see it. She says, I'm hurt. She has this sword in her side. She needs you to get it out. And there it sits. It's a Sweeney rod. And what it does is it kills a crew and leaves the boat perfect for whoever shows up next. And as you grab it and pull it free, The courtesan roars back to life as the cargo bay door slowly closes and the life support comes back online. The scrubbers come back online. The engine in the back lights, and the glow of the tail of the Firefly immediately begins to whirl as the engine cranks and starts on its own, as it was never officially turned off. It just didn't have power.
Which means that it's also thrust starts immediately, surely, please.
Everything, she is fired up. She is ready to rock and roll. And as you turn, and as the light and the heat and the air comes around, you see your husband as he slams the door and turns back and look. And you see your husband look at you and just falls backwards against the wall and slides to a stop, as he is alive, but everything that is gone on this journey to get here has taken its toll on him. Lo Zhao Li, you see the door close. Dr. Rutherford, you can feel that the craft is reorienting. You hear the safety features going off of these doors inside the pig room. Harriet, you hear the courtesan come back to life as the pad beside you lights up, and the door beneath you opens and cracks as the pressure is no longer destabilized.
Okay.
I immediately backflip back down and go to check on the crew. Report.
Can I know I'm like almost KO, but can I reach comms? Am I still conscious?
Comms are not working yet because they are frozen. Harriet, as you jump down and you're standing in the bridge with the glass, you see the Dauntless maybe 25, 30 yards away as it is closing in to grab hold and bond with the ship for a boarding party. And you see a very tall, lithe figure that looks like a woman if you had to guess, and a shorter, more masculine figure in EVA suits as they're standing and preparing to make this leap over to the courtesan. But the ship itself is fired and the light panel is no longer fluctuating. It is there for you to fly.
We have a spotlight on the front of this ship. I'm definitely gonna fly it, but as I'm flying it, I want to like the equivalent of like high beam them on the way out, just as a final fuck you. But hopefully I can fly this hunk of metal.
Can I run over to where the little shuttles were and like activate it so it goes it comes back?
The shuttles are drifting free and
they're too far
right now.
Okay, well in that case, can I just, this is like the cargo bay, there's a bunch of supplies and stuff down here, right?
Sure.
Can I start seeing what kind of chemicals they've got down here?
What kind of chemicals do you need? And I can tell you whether or not you can spend a plot point to find them.
All right, get back to me in a second on that. Let's go to the flying person. I'm gonna think on that for a second.
Okay, so as you're sitting there, Harriet, what would you like to do?
I do exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get this ship the fuck out of here while I high beam them on the way out, because the ship is we're flying, but I'm pretty sure there are holes somewhere, and I don't really want to get in a tussle with these guys until we know exactly what's going on. So I want to go for hard burn if I can.
Okay, so as you turn, as soon as the craft stops its list and the jet thrusters or the maneuvering thrusters come online, you immediately see the Dauntless pull back as it almost goes. You see the two people that were getting ready to jump grab hold of the side as the Dauntless itself like retro fires to get away from you, fearing that you are definitely going to a full burn, which is a big time no-no with an exposed craft like the Dauntless. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be you're getting out of here. You high beamed them, but do they get back in time? I'd like you to roll a fly. I'd like you to roll a physical, and anything else you can think of as the pilot of the other craft is trying to get them the out of there.
There's a thing I have to ask you, but I don't want to say it in front of the other players.
Just tell me what the value is, and I know what it is.
Okay, I can spend a plot point to roll.
I'm looking right now.
It's the second one from the third on the bottom. There, that from my asset, the
Do you want us
last.
to just take our headphones off? Like, if.
Yeah, we can do that, person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll it. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I can spend a plot point. Okay. So that is that. Trick. Compounding on what I just said. On top of that. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
And sneak compounding on top of that. What I just said, kind of adding all those things together.
Yep, I'll take it. For that particular thing, I will take it.
Okay, perfect. Because it's actually okay. So
and
I
now
get
you're gonna spend. Yeah, you're gonna spend a plot point to keep 3.
Use them.
Yes, I'm spending a plot point, and I get to re-roll 1 if I need it to. So I think that is it. We're going for the pool roll. I can re-roll that one though. I get to re-roll that. Is a D. It's the D6. Okay, so that's better.
So with a 4 gives you a 14. They had a 14, and as we know, ties go to you guys. As Harriet gets behind and turns the floodlight on, which confounds the pilot for just a split second. And as the pilot pulls back up, you're able to swing that big old beautiful ass of the courtesan around. And as she powers up, that Firefly bulb goes off. And in the rear view, as you are rocketing away towards Persephone, you see the Dauntless as it lists, dragging plasma fire along its right-hand side.
I wish my comms were working. I'd say
If my comms were working, all I was going to do is grab it and just ring your helm and just say, "Ram those motherfuckers."
No.
This Goram game, I swear.
And as you rocket towards Persephone, and as Lo
Check on Elizabeth.
As Lo Zhao Li is sitting in the car, Elizabeth begins to stir in the passenger side seat beside her.
I've got like the spacesuit over her, like, breathe.
As she is experiencing some kind of like frost flash burns across her arms, but otherwise seems okay. And in the engine room, Bai and Felix look at one another as Felix is coming to. And Bai, as you take your helmet off, whether it's there or not, you feel a bit of a breeze. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end today's session of Tales from the Big Damn Verse.
I've got my feet kicked on the dashboard.
I swear.
I'm just sitting in the car, like, stroking Elizabeth's head. Okay, there's air now and heat. Everything's fine.
Incredible.
I swear to all of the gods that the Dauntless, man. I'm.
Yeah.
You guys like it, right? You like the Dauntless?
Oh yeah, there are buddies. I
Right.
want to have them over for a party. You know, we can get some dumplings going. We'll have the kids' table out.
It's
It'll
fine.
be
It's
great.
fine. It's absolutely fine because we're going to I'll take you there, and by take you there, I mean I will park the ship in their fucking ship. I'm.
He kept on whispering me, trying to get me to ram the ship, and I'm
We
like,
have a fucking naval ram on the front of that ship.
I'm not ramming.
Hey, everybody, you made it! Congratulations! You defeated the Black and you defeated the Dauntless for now. I am very proud of you. I love seeing everybody rise to the occasion, especially the good doctor who showed us a little bit of his
Yeah, that was so bad.
underhandedness.
Super fun.
So let's go to the good doctor first. Good doctor, what'd you think about today?
It was amazing. The intense factor was there and it held there, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you for running, Greg, as always. Amazing game and show. It was super fun. I'm Pro Restarter. I love this game. Love playing with all of you guys. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, or the same name, and on Instagram. That's slowly coming up. You can catch me also on my channel where I play RPG shows about 5-6 days a week. We're doing some rescheduling because of work and time scales and stuff. Catch me on After Tables on every other Friday, not this Friday, but in 2 weeks, where I play Monster Hearts _the table. Mondays on the Greyhawk channel, playing Violent Villainous, where I get to play Matthias in the evil ASMR, which is super great. Tuesdays on Wonder DM's channel playing Star Wars. Wednesdays on Wonder DM's channel playing Swihanda, which is super fun. And all the other crazy stuff I do in the week. I don't sleep. I don't. What is sleep? What is time? Help
Why
me.
do that, man? Right? You don't need to do that.
No.
Who needs that? We'll sleep when we're dead, or when the only person we have left to take over for us is the doctor, and we know we're going to die anyway.
I know, right?
So let's go over to Lindy. Lindy, Lo Jiao Li. How did she do today?
Hi, Greg. I'm literally like forehead and like face tingly because of all the excess oxygen from all the borderline hyperventilating that I was doing this entire episode, because it's like, I'm so useless. Can't I just talk my way out of this scenario? No! Oh, but I was so good. I can't believe it. I rolled that 6 to get her in the car. I'm so glad. Little girl that
Dopest. When the dice tell the story, it's going to be fantastic. And
don't know what I'm doing on this ship. This is, I was informed that this was the best ship to travel on. I may have been misinformed, but we'll see. Maybe this has brought us all together in some kind of macabre way. I can't wait for next week to find out what happens when hopefully we get planet-side someplace. Who knows? Meanwhile, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch and Twitter. I'm here every Friday for this awesome amazingness that is Firefly. It's just not stressful at all. It's fun. This is great. See, tomorrow morning you can find me and Greg, along with some other fantastic people, on Scraticus's channel at 8 a.m. Eastern time.
What? I didn't agree to any of that.
I didn't either. But it's fine. For Pirates Paradise, like a little mini-series. And then maybe tomorrow night on Castle Mac, I don't know, there's like a party going on, and Grant's gonna be there, and I'm gonna be there, and hopefully we'll sling some dice. Sunday, you should be here again for the season finale of Pulp Cthulhu. There's Nazis, there's all sorts of awesome, crazy, horrific things. It's Cthulhu. Sunday afternoon, RPG on WebDM's channel. You should definitely check it out. There's clips, highlights from the whole past week of tabletop gaming. Submit those clips, people. We want to see all those moments. Tuesdays, Grimjack and I and some other people from Counter Roleplay are on Tomes and Tentacles, a wonderful, fantastic podcast. Tuesday evenings, my channel, Out of the Abyss. Getting good. We're going to fight some Demon Lords soon. Wednesdays, Encounter Roleplay, Call of Cthulhu in the afternoon. Also with Greg. It's like we played roleplay together a lot or something. And then 3 hours later for Star Wars RPG, also on Encounter Roleplay's channel. Thursdays, WebDM or their Land Between Two Rivers. And then that wraps up my week for now until next month when I add more stuff in.
Yeah, because it seems like you've got too much time on your hands.
I obviously do.
Awesome, Lindy. Thank you very, very much. Tia, what did you think today?
Today was stressful because as much as Lao Jiaoli could not talk her way out of things, I could not shoot my way out of things. And that was very frustrating for me. And I realized that... Well, I'm going to save that for next episode. Anyways, we'll save that for next episode. Normally, I would go off on... I had a blast. It was stressful as fuck. And I kept on thinking, like, every now and then, like, this is fine. This is fine. I'm hoping that we get some smooth sailing in the next episode, but we'll see. Normally, I would also try to follow up with my litany of role-playing games and things that I'm doing on Twitch. But to kind of gear things down a little bit here, unfortunately, I was first-hand witness to some pretty shitty acts of humanity. If you've been following on my Twitter, you know that one of my friends is out of an abusive situation. I went with her around to different places, and unfortunately, when I was at the different police stations or different areas with her, I kept on seeing the same story over and over again. Women that were just trapped in shitty situations that had nowhere to go. It's not as easy as you think leaving an abusive relationship. People say, why don't you just leave? Well, people in abusive relationships, they're usually cornered to that. They're not in control of their finances. They don't have access to things to just pick up and leave. And Safe House is an organization in Las Vegas, Nevada that helps anyone, no matter your gender, your race, however you want to identify, just get out of shitty situations. So on my channel over on twitch.tv, from now until Sunday, we're going to be taking all donations that are made on the channel, and we're going to be making a final donation on Sunday to Safe House. I can't do much as a content creator besides use my voice and I can't do much else besides raise money, but I'm going to do everything in my power, especially after seeing what I saw this weekend. So if you can come by anytime between now and Sunday, you don't have to donate, just being in the channel, being supportive. We may end up getting the attention of some people that are at home in shitty abusive situations that find their way to the channel. And I think through strength and positivity and being together that, maybe we can give someone a lifeline or a thread of hope. So again, sorry for making it all sad there for a moment, but I can't tell you how important this is to me to get this rolling. So thank you.
100%. Excuse me, 100%. Please, if you like she said, if you just go hang out, just make awareness, whatever you can. It's a terrible, terrible situation, and she couldn't be more right that the option to just leave is not there for many, many women. And so please do what you can, and maybe make a difference in this big damn verse. So
absolutely.
As we go up to Josh, what do you think, buddy?
I had an absolute blast tonight. It was nice to be able to fix 1,000,001 things. I like saving the crew was fun, even though I nearly died in the process. Thank you for recognizing the heroism. It's awful being in situations where you don't know how to, you're built to shoot things or talk to people and stuff like that. But it's when you don't really know what to do, it can be difficult. To segue from that, when Tia told me about the situation, she said about what happened yesterday and everything going on there. I didn't really know what to do, so I was like, I know what I can do is find a bunch of really awesome people from online and run a one-shot. So we're going to do a cool little one-shot on Sunday. I'm still working out the times. I know Mike from Unmade Gaming has already said that he's going to come along, and I don't know if he's scarpered from chat yet, but Grant Ellis has also said that he'll throw in his lot with us. It's just going to be a hilarious one-shot full of shenanigans and craziness, just to have some fun and
it's going to be a battle royale.
It's going to be a battle royale, probably. It's going to be chaos. I'm thinking it might be all-star. Everyone can just bring their favorite character they've ever played. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking I might play it that way and just say sort of I'm gonna what do you call it? I'm gonna snatch people from loads of different sort of universes, slam them in together in a big battle royale. Something. It's gonna be amazing. Tia is a robot right now with excitement, so I'm super excited for that. Also, so if you guys could just come along tomorrow on Sunday and cheer and support and help me just fucking fuck their characters up, that'll be fantastic. Other than that, Encounter Josh, you can find me. Yeah, it's there in the chat, and you can see me do stuff all over the place. Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. Yeah, please, everybody follow Josh, and he will give you all the information. Show up there. I'm going to be there. Let's contribute, and let's knock this one out of the park. It's something we can do. We're the best fucking community out there.
I completely forgot. We're also auctioning 2 dice bags that have been donated by ARG. Let me just find them real quick. I've had 2 donations.
Already raised $300 for the cause, so
Indeed.
we've already started going without doing anything yet.
And I'm going to butcher this. Diomedes Industries has already pledged 2 handmade leather dice bags. You can have your pick. There's a whole selection, and they've said that they will even cover shipping and everything like that. So everything's going to be.
That's so nice of them.
So I'm going to be auctioning them on the stream for you guys. If you want a chance to get a really, really nice handmade leather dice bag, that'll be your chance to do that. Just come along to the show, and if you want to know what time it is, just follow me and Tia on Twitter, and we'll let you know the second I have the cast all sorted.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
I can tell you firsthand that the Diomedes dice bags are way, way better than the Schweddy bags that I have. You don't like them? I don't know where that Mike Schweddy made those bags, but I'm not a fan. I would definitely show up for those. And speaking about Schweddy bags, let's end it with Eric.
Don't talk about my husband like that. Don't talk about my husband like that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Eric,
I deserve.
If you want me to kick his ass,
I deserve it. No, my mom came okay with it. I earned it. So, hey everybody, I'm Eric. I'm Eric Vulgaris on everything, and I play tabletop games every day. Last night, I was telling the cast here that like last night I get to play a game called Band of Blades, which is like the Black Company, and I play the no fucking nonsense, vicious, evil lieutenant that everyone hates. And then today, I'm so excited I get to play by McDonald, and I get to be my amazing husband to Felix, and I get to be soft and nice and cute and inspirational to everybody. And I just love that I can play games where I can do everything and then those types of stuff. So I love role-playing games. I love that my Thursdays are that and then Fridays is this. It's super great. You all are great. Cast, chat, you're amazing. I don't know who it was who donated me that plot point at the end when I only had one, but bless you. Yeah, I want to say this session was insane. I cannot believe that we were able to pull off what we did. This is literally why I play role-playing games. This was incredible today. Seriously, like I've been playing like fucking games nonstop for about 3 years right now, and this was one of the singularly like most memorable sessions of a role-playing game I've ever had. I've never felt that sort of like when you play a game, it's a good game when you have that. It comes down to this die roll, and you have to get this thing right, and you could feel it, and it was amazing. Those moments, I love them. It's so amazing. I don't know. I'm just glowing. It's so good. So anyways, that's me. I play games every day. The only one I want to like share real quick is Monday nights. I play the Keep on the Borderlands, that old ass, like one of the oldest role-playing game modules. I played that, only we do it in Burning Wheels / Torchbearer system. So it's a little bit different. That's a lot of fun. It's it's the Keep on the Borderlands. We're the Unworthy Meat. If you ever see that on my Twitter, which I'm really active on, that's what it is. It's a really, really good cast full of fellow game designers and good role-playing game peoples. So definitely check that out. Once again, that's Keep on the Borderlands, and that's Monday nights on my channel. Thank you all so much. Seriously, this session, fucking Greg, what are you doing?
This is the best session I've played in ages.
Yeah, this campaign, I get giddy. Like as soon as I wake up and I realize it's Friday, I'm like, oh, it's Friday! Yes.
I hope everyone is like, you teach a master class on being aggressive as a GM, which I think more people could learn from, which is really cool. You keep at like framing scenes hard, being like, what do you do in these situations, instead of being like, and you're in the ship, what are you doing? You always give us context. You always push something. You're always moving. And you have to do it because we have 2 hours, right? It's not for everybody. I'm not saying this is the only way to do anything. I'm not at all. I'm just saying it works well for the frame of the show and everything you do. And it's just always on brand with the Firefly. Like it's so good. You were very, very good at what you do. You're an inspiration to everyone.
Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that, man. As for me, after I'm glowing now, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Here on the channel on Sunday night, we do, as Lindy said, have the season finale of Project Athena, my opus to all things pulpy. You can find me on Encounter Roleplay on Monday afternoon, Tomes and Tentacles on Tuesday evening on WebDM, doing a little 5e Spelljammer action, which is fun. Back on Call of Cthulhu for Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays from 1 to 4. And then on Fridays, we're right back here for another edition of Firefly. Later on, or next month in June, we will be getting Conan, Age Undreamed Of. We will also be getting another Call of Cthulhu show, which will be on Saturday afternoons, called Project Kronos. And later on this summer, Flash Gordon comes to the channel, as I am going to be doing Gordon's alive. Yes, we are going to be doing some Flash motherfucking Gordon, and it is going to be straight up from the movie, straight up from the serial comic strips. We are going to Mongo later on this summer, and I cannot wait. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brown coats of all ages, love these people, follow these people. They are the best. I am blessed to have 2 casts right now currently playing that are the best of the best. Forget all the rest. But chat, you are phenomenal. Earthen, thank you for the donations. Everybody, thank you for the bits and the cheers and the follows and the subscriptions. It keeps us afloat. It lets us tell great stories. It lets us bring back the big damn verse. Firefly is back, and we're going to do everything we can to keep flying. So until we see one another again, just remember, you can't stop the signal. You can never stop the signal.
Stop the signal.